on your side.
That breaking news, a devastating scene as a 2-mile-wide tornado rips through a suburb of Oklahoma City, flattening homes, knocking down at least 2 schools, trapping children inside.
That tornado was on the ground for nearly 45 minutes. That is a very long time.
Charles Benson brings us more on this breaking news from the newsroom, and these are just heartbreaking pictures, Charles.
Very disturbing to watch as you see the rescue efforts underway. This was a monster storm that did a lot of damage. Now, that school you referred to is in Moore, Oklahoma. It took a direct hit, and the police are saying they don't know if any children were hurt. There is so much damage that parents are actually walking from 30 blocks away trying to get to the school to see if their kids are okay. Let's take a look at this monster tornado we're talking about. This is the twister that did all the damage. It was 2 miles wide and was on the ground for about 45 minutes. 6 miles of damage. That's a long time, and you can understand why there was a lot of damage on the ground. Let's listen in to one of the chopper pilots as he flew over the devastation.
This right here, that's the Plaza Towers Elementary School. Yep, we're just north of 19th Street, south of 4th Street, and we're fixing to cross Santa Fe. If you guys are familiar with this area, there's like the golf course here on the south side of the road. All this where the house is burning at's in that neighborhood that's just north of, like there's a Dan McGinnis, like an Irish pub right there, just north of that. We're going to continue to go to the east over several other schools and homes that if Travis will go just to the left just a bit. That's that first elementary school we showed you right there.
So as you can imagine, the parents worried there. You just heard that there are children being pulled out of that school. We're hearing, if you're familiar with that area, the 2 schools are Briar Elementary and the other one is Plaza Towers Elementary. Children are trapped inside. Also, want to show you some video from the sky as well. Homes on fire. This is from some of the chopper video near Oklahoma City. As we mentioned, this tornado was on the ground for at least 45 minutes. And so there was a lot of warning. They are used to tornadoes in this area, so they know that people were able to take cover. They have great first responders that are on the scene right now, especially at that school. Cars are piled up. Debris is all over the area. It's hard to get through the streets. But the most telling moment, the most troubling moment right now, Mike and Carol, those parents sitting outside those elementary schools, knowing that their children are inside, first responders are on the scene, and all they can do right now is watch. Look at this video right here. This is moments after the tornado had moved through the area. People seeing each other for the first time, hugging each other, knowing that they survived this tornado, but then looking for other loved ones as well. And so it's just utter chaos right now as people scramble to find loved ones. And as I mentioned it again, the concern at those elementary schools. Mike and Carol.
Yeah, the devastation just so widespread, going for miles and miles of homes. And here you see video of something that landed on the interstate and shut down I-35, which runs right through that area. We don't know if that was another car. Looks like it probably was debris from one of the buildings nearby, John Milan.
Could be building debris, could be a tractor trailer carrying some kind of cargo that was spilled off or knocked over. One thing you got to remember with a tornado that big, and in Oklahoma where they don't have basements in most of the houses, these houses are just carried and knocked down and carried away immediately, and all you will find for that 2-mile wide stretch is total devastation. Nothing will stand against a tornado like that. And back in 1999, when these folks, same spot, had an EF5 tornado with 318-mile-per-hour winds, this is the same thing we're looking at from the damage pictures that I saw when I went there to report on it in 1999. So some of the places that are destroyed right now maybe had 14-year-old homes that were just rebuilt. And so when you hear these stories about, you know, tornado can't hit the same spot twice or lightning can't strike twice, it's not true.
It's heartbreaking, and those pictures are just brutal. John, can you tell us about the weather situation right now?
Right now, they're still getting supercells across eastern Oklahoma. As a matter of fact, if you want to grab a quick picture of our Doppler radar, I have eastern Oklahoma and Oklahoma City up. Right now, there's a little thunderstorm developing right over Moore, but not a supercell. The big supercells are in the eastern part of the state, which is very similar to what we were looking at in 1999. This is a massive weather system. We're going to be on the northern fringes of this weather system overnight tonight, so we're going to have our own eyes on our own radar. I don't see anything like this happening, but severe thunderstorms are still a possibility for us. But an EF5 tornado or 4, depending on when they go out and do the damage and survey this thing, this is going to just cause a 2-mile wide, 6-mile long path of total devastation.
And you know, one of the things that I think is most heartbreaking, you see those elementary schools, which are structurally sound, but they are absolutely leveled. It happened at a time of day when we're getting reports there were still children inside.
Yeah, whether they're brick schools, whether they're very structurally sound, you cannot stand up against 250-mile-per-hour winds, and we see that constantly. Look, as you can see here, you see the internal structure. Those are the interior parts
Steel
of the building beams. Yeah, that may have withstood some of the winds, because the winds could go through there. However, all the walls, all the roofs, all the interior walls are knocked down, and which could be some of the rubble that you see piled up on the streets and on the roads. And you see that person walking at the top left of your screen on a road. That is what I saw back in 1999. You could not, you'd drive down a road, then you couldn't get by. And then you'd have to drive down another road, and you couldn't get by there because everything was just littered with debris.
And your hearts, you know, John, go out to the first responders
goodness,
who are
yes.
trying to get to possibly people trapped and under that debris, and it's just more difficult.
And sometimes we saw people trapped under debris in the third day I was there, so 3 days afterwards, sometimes they were still getting people out. We were standing next to a home where they were looking for their pet, and 3 days later the pet comes crawling out from under the rubble.
One of the powerful images we saw was a home that was on fire. It appeared to have initially survived the brunt of the storm, but then either through a gas leak or a power line down, somehow the home caught fire, and here's another look at it.
Yeah.
The home was lost after initially surviving the main impact of the tornado.
And this could have been on the inflow side of the funnel. So let's say the actual 2-mile wide part of the funnel did not hit this house. It was just on the edge. You get inflow winds. The winds blowing in to feed the funnel on either side of the funnel, which could be 125 miles per hour, knocks down one wall, maybe takes the roof off, snaps a gas line, and then you get a fire.
And this is right in the heart of Tornado Alley.
I'll tell you, the Oklahoma City area has had more tornadoes in that one area than most spots on Earth. There's 2 little places, one up in Kansas that has a great frequency, and one right around Oklahoma City. That is the heart of the frequency of big tornadoes.
Yeah, and you've seen this devastation close up, and you know what the people are going through right now, and it's just chaos.
It's unbelievable. It looks like a war zone. It looked like someone came with a bomb and just rolled a bomb through your city.
Yeah, people are certainly in shock. We are going to ask you to stand by just a moment because we are going to continue our coverage of the storms, because parts of the South and Midwest all being pummeled by tornadoes and other severe weather.
And people in Wisconsin are bracing for that potential threat. Our Cody Holyoke joins us now to explain more on that. Cody.
Mike, Carol, John, this is, of course, the video of the day. A heartbreaking tornado on the ground tearing through Oklahoma City. Of course, those violent weather patterns, as John mentioned, are headed north. Forecasters and volunteers here in Wisconsin stand ready.
Do you see this, Mike?